Pay for the signs that were bought in the park. Yeah, so that's part, all of the park signs are part of the donation, so yeah, they'll be covered. But I was talking about the mark, so we're gonna go over and then we meet with the guy, going down the creek. And just get ahead. Well, we'll be doing like a release for proposals, because we have to get multiple bids, and then we're also gonna have community engagement.
I had heard about it, but I didn't know what it
All the
was.
signs will be ADA accessible. So we want to get feedback from the residents before we just order something. But I had asked him about, if he could show us how to put them on the park when we don't, the other stuff. They just come over.
All right, we have a quorum and it is 6:32. So I'll call our study session to order. We can all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk Domingo, if you'll take roll call for us, please.
Councilmember Williams.
Present.
Lee. Here. Jackson. Here. Lawler. Davis. Here. French. And Mayor Snyder.
Here. So our study session is to discuss the items that are going to be required of an action at our regular meeting. The first is to approve the citizen participation plan. So we will have a public hearing on this first. Colin, I guess I didn't see on. Nope, I do, okay. That we were gonna actually approve this too, so I just want to share that this item was just that it was the public hearings for the plan, or we're also gonna actually.
There's an approval after the public, after you close the public hearing, there's an action item for approval.
Okay.
It's right under the public hearing.
So this would be to, for public participation in the Mr. Chill program. I can give a little more info.
So council, if you can recall, we approved this a few months ago to go along with our Mishta Chill grant application. We did receive feedback from Mishta. They were happy with the original plan that we presented. However, there was additional language that they required to be included. So they have provided that to us. So our plan has been updated to include the language that is required through that agency. You turn to page 27, it's of the packet, but it's page 3 of the participation plan. So underneath citizen participation, that is where all of the additional language that they have required has been included. So we're just bringing this back to have the public hearing and then asking for approval. And then we will get that to Michelle so we can move forward with that grant application.
Okay, so you're saying on page 3, which would be page
27 of the packet.
and 28.
Yeah, so it goes all the way through until the next section, which is the state regulations on public meetings.
Do you have any questions?
So that was on,
Nope, go ahead.
so thank you, Mayor. Yeah. So that was the only thing that was added in here. Cause
Yep.
I'm trying to make sure I see it all. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, but yeah, they were very happy with everything else that we had in the plan. They just have certain language that they would ask to be included. So they provided that to us. We updated it to reflect Albion, and we've included that in our participation plan.
Councilman Williams, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I got a question for Cullen. Cullen, on page, I guess it's 35. Page 35 of that. Well, it's page 35 of the pack, but 11.
Yeah, I got you.
So, what tools are available to council members to communicate with constituents?
you to communicate with your constituents?
Yeah, you got information you want to send out to them and, it's pertinent to, helping the residents.
So, I mean, I would say, obviously you can email, you can mail, if it's a thing for the entire precinct, I think we can put things on our website that people could be directed to. I believe we still maintain a Facebook page. It could go on our Facebook page because people are more and more electronic based and I'm probably one of the few dinosaurs that still like to get mail, but
Right.
things like that.
Okay, do we have anywhere where that's written down?
Probably not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, thank you.
So are you looking at ways to get this information out to your constituents or
Or other pertinent information that could be beneficial to residents,
so not just
not
regards
just,
to this, just
no, but I like the template. I think we agreed that we liked it, as far as the different forms that we currently use, along with the town halls and different things, but, different ways to disseminate information when, it may not be applicable for the entire city, but specific to, maybe a certain area in our precinct.
I guess whatever tools you have available to you would be a good way that you think is going to be receptive to the people that are in your precinct, if it's precinct specific.
Right, but it will be, when I'm asking about the tools, it's the tools that the city has
Mm.
that we can utilize. That's what the question is pertaining to.
Like the website or when they send out the water bills, things like that.
Yeah, things like
Put it
that.
in there.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Good. Next, we're going to be asked to approve of the CDBG mortgage discharge for 508 West Chestnut. So, Attorney Harkness?
So this is just one of those old community development block grant mortgages that was taken out. Late '80s. It's been fully paid, so now that it's fully paid, we just need to discharge the mortgage, so. Your vote tonight just authorizes me to sign the discharge of the mortgage and submit it for the register of deeds.
Do you have any questions for Attorney Harkness on this item? All right. Next, we're going to be asked to approve the Synagro bill for the anaerobic digester. Administrator,
Yes, excuse me. So I did authorize the emergency expenditure to begin this project. You guys did approve the first invoice, I believe, at one of your March meetings. So this is the next invoice to complete hauling out the waste from out of the digester at the wastewater treatment plant. In the amount of $83,147.86, and it will be covered out of the solid waste fund.
questions for City Manager Snyder on this? Right, next, we're going to be asked to approve resolution 2413. Setting a policy for the evaluations. Attorney Harkness.
So we discussed this last council meeting and I crafted a resolution here. I ran it by the city manager. We wanted to bring it to council for any feedback that you might have, but basically it says that the mayor and city council will be provided with the evaluation forms and the self-evaluation, whether it's the city manager or the city attorney's office, at least 2 weeks prior to whatever the submission deadline is, and then the mayor and city council will complete and submit their evaluation at least 1 week prior to the evaluation date. And the evaluation has to be submitted to both the mayor and the officer being evaluated. And then if if the evaluation is received after the deadline, then it's not included in the evaluation. And the mayor is responsible for tabulating the average scores for all the included evaluations and having that information available for council and the officer at the time of the evaluation. So if the council wants to modify this timeframe, the language at all, but we thought this would be a good policy to have, so everybody's on the same page moving forward.
Mayor Pam?
So I do have just like a little something I think we should remodify. And that's no more than just making sure that it's not only the week before the person's evaluation up, but the week prior to that Wednesday. Cause it has to get on the ballot, not just due to when their time is up. It needs to be efficient where you can get it calculated. We speak about it on Wednesday. And then it gets into the minutes on Thursday, into our packets on Thursday, Friday. So I think we might need to back it up to those days, saying prior to that Wednesday of a regular council meeting, Monday or something of that.
So I think the week deadline would be that Monday, because then that following week would be the meeting.
Okay, so maybe we need to put that in there so we don't have a problem again, because when you say it's cut off and we can't get in there, it says on there, it has to be in there before that Monday towards that Wednesday, because the meeting is the next week.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it says the mayor and the council will complete and submit the evaluation not less than 1 week prior to the evaluation. So the evaluation is gonna be on a Monday, so it would have to be in at least the Monday before. So,
Because it doesn't always, it hasn't always been like it said on a Monday, so, but, okay.
well, I guess if, let's just say we had one of those meetings where, like it's president saying the meeting is moved to Tuesday, then it will have to be in the Tuesday before the meeting. It gives you at least a week. If you want to push it back further and say it's gotta be in 2 weeks. and
No,
then
I'm just
it's-
saying, as long as it's stating that way, but I'm saying when it's not, written out, then there's leeway for a gap, that's all I'm saying. But if it's in there, then okay, if everybody agrees with it, that's fine.
Yeah, it says at least a week, so it would absolutely be included in the packet. If it's a week ahead of time, because the packet shouldn't go out until the Thursday before the meeting, so.
Cause that's fine, cause the only thing, cause I didn't want to bring it up last time, so we go back and forth. She accidentally put in her email the 29th, but she was really saying the 19th. You understand what I'm saying? So if I had to get that information for you, because when I emailed you, I text you back and I said, no, you said that, you said, no, it has to be in the Monday before. But the email had said the 29th. That's the reason I would have not gotten it to you. That's what I'm saying. So
Well,
even
so-
if it was even if it's a mistake in your email, whatever, and this is still in here, it should
Yeah.
all coincide.
We got it.
So, yeah.
I have no-
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, next, we're gonna be asked to approve the purchase and sales agreement of the Maple Grove Apartments. So we have that language in the packet. City Manager Snyder. I'm sorry, or Cindy Hartwig.
So council already voted to accept the offer from LST Incorporated. This is basically just the purchase agreement, the contract between the city and the organization. Technically, we had them add the Albion Building Authority as a party as well, just because when the company did the title work for the 3 parcels that make up Maple Grove, 2 of them are still showing as being owned as ABA, and one of them is showing as being owned as a city. And rather than trying to sift through 50 or 60 years worth of title work, the simpler way to go is just to add ABA as a party. They'll sign off, and then the parcels will get transferred. But I went through it. I made some minor changes. They agreed to all of the minor changes and recommending approval.
Do you have questions or comments for Attorney Hartness on this?
Did you make minor changes after we received it or before we received it?
You mean when you received it in the packet?
Yes,
It was before.
it was
It was
before,
before,
okay.
yep, because they signed it after integrating our changes that we requested in them, yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah, two.
Cullen, you also have a real estate attorney look over this document? Or,
A real estate attorney?
yeah,
No.
no, thank you.
I did, he's not here yet, Chief, Cap and I went over and spoke with Maple Grove. And, you know, some information that was shared was, you know, basically not the details, of course, of the contract, but just what had been discussed in our sessions, in terms of, they were concerned what is going to happen to me, you know, in terms of their residency. My, rental fees, you know, am I going to be displaced because of this? And so I think once it was explained, they were appreciative in terms of knowing exactly what was going to happen or what wasn't going to happen and the purpose of the whole thing. You know, not because of anything that they had done wrong, but because of finances and giving them the best quality of life that we could afford, you know, to give them. And by doing that, we had to sell the building. So I think everything is okay. And I think a periodic update, just a visit and things like that would be good, you know, just good human relations.
Any other questions or comments? All right, next, we're gonna be asked to approve resolution 2024-14. It's to amend the ballot language for our city charter in regards to the Board of Review. Attorney Harkness?
So. Our assessor reached out to the city and basically said that they're having issues with the Board of Review in that the time obligation for people to attend is I guess for some of the board members too onerous because it requires not less than 20 hours of meeting time for the week with I believe the first day is a significant portion of that. I can't remember if it's 6 hours or 8 hours, but the state statute governing Board of Reviews only requires meeting a total of 12 hours with let me see here. We've
You have to have a certain number after 5 o'clock.
no, it has to, at least the first day has to be 6 hours and then the rest of the week is 6 hours divvied up over the rest of the week. So this would be because it's embodied in the charter, the only way to change it is to do a charter. This would be for the November ballot. This is not for council to vote on tonight because there's a process to follow. And we've learned over the years that the best way to do this is rather than having council vote on it and then sending it to the governor's office for approval, and before they sign off on it, they send it to the AG. The individual, the head of the department at the AG, we basically send it to them for like pre-approval. They basically give us the thumbs up or tell us if there's something to change, and then we bring it to council for an actual vote. Council votes on it, and then we send it to the governor's office, and assuming that the governor's office approves it, then it goes on the ballot for the election. So this would just be to basically modify the requirements for the Board of Review such that instead of meeting for 20 hours during the March meeting, it would only be required to meet 12, 6 hours on the first day, 6 hours divvied up for the rest of the week. The first day has to start no earlier than 9 and start not later than 3. It's right now, I believe our charter says it's the 3rd Monday. I'm not sure how that came to be because the statute says the 2nd Monday. So I'm not sure how that happened, but that should get fixed because that doesn't line up with state law. And that's basically it. I mean, it's a really, really simple change.
Do you have questions or comments on this item?
We'll fix that language today when we vote.
No, you're not voting anything today. I just need to know that council is basically good with this. If council is good with it, I'll send it to the AG for pre-approval. to make sure that the AG is good with the language, and assuming that they are, I'll bring it back to council for you to vote on the actual resolution, because the actual resolution will then go to the governor's office.
Copy.
So how will you prove that we're good with it?
All I needed, I was basically ask you, does anybody have a problem with us making this?
Okay,
You know, I didn't want to go ahead and send it without talking to council first,
right.
but, so I just need you to just tell me whether or not you have an issue with it. As long as we're good with that, I'll send it up to the AG for pre-approval, and then you'll actually vote on it at a future meeting. But, in speaking, I wanted to get it to you as soon as possible because, in speaking with, the head of the government operations division that deals with these, he said they are super bad at the charter amendments, and there would be no way they would get it on for August, so I wanted to jump on this to make sure we could do it for this November.
So our assessor also is the assessor for other municipalities. And he was saying we were one of the only ones that still require more than 12 that he works with. So he didn't see the need of having the 20 hours since the majority of the time we were just sitting there and just talking and reading. And so he was hoping to get this resolved and passed on so that it can get on the ballot. All right. Public comments. Is there anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council? If so, you may give us your name, address, and 3 minutes is yours.
Did you miss, discussion of street improvements?
So we'll just discuss that. because it's
Let's
not an
discuss it.
All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned, 6:53 PM. Don't go far.